Hey guys, Will with Lost Visions Performance. Today's video we're going to be installing some test pipes or cat delete pipes on this BMW M Series V8 that we have right here behind me. These ones are from Active Autowerke. They were provided by the customer in this car. Got some new gaskets as well. These are the clamps. Pretty straightforward piece, nothing real crazy going on with these. They do look like they're made pretty well. This one's already got the bracket on it. The other one we have to transfer off the other side. We also have our spots for our 402 sensors to give you a couple dummy plugs. Most likely when you're having this properly tuned afterwards, your tuner can tune out the most rearward of the O2 sensors, so you don't have to run them in there anymore. But this car will be getting the O2 sensors put back in it. So not a whole lot to do on this one. You got 2 bolts on each side. These ones, they don't give you any type of captured nut or anything, so you do have to get in there from the back side to hold those. So you can take out your E-series bolts, and then we have one O2 sensor right there, one right there, one clamp, one O2 sensor here, one there, one clamp, and then we will have to come back here, remove this cross brace, and should be able to remove these clamps and drop this whole section of the exhaust out of the car. The reason for dropping it is we do need to cut these pipes right about here on each side, and it makes it a little bit easier if you have them out of the car. You could do it inside the car, but you want to be really careful not to start damaging any of your shielding. We will probably drop this shield off just to give us a little more room for these inside bolts here. So we did go ahead and spray down all this beforehand with some penetrating oil. That'll definitely make your life easier if you're doing this. Exhaust stuff, whether the car is new or old, always gets seized in there. This one looks pretty good, but always go ahead and spray a little bit on there, let it sit for a little while. All right, so we're gonna get started on this portion of it, start cracking loose all these, and we'll go from there. All right, so got the exhaust section dropped down. Went pretty easy. Got all the O2 sensors undone, left them plugged into the car and everything, able to thread them out pretty easy. On these ones you have your E-series bolt, and it's a 14mm nut on the back, and that's for all 4 of those. And when we took off this shield, they are 8mm bolts, and then a couple 10mm in the back. And then everything else for your cross member, and then for these rear clamps, they are 13mm. And here we have the exhaust section we pulled down, and you can see the comparison of what it is and what it's going to. So these ones on this side, you have to loosen up this clamp a little bit and just bend it out, slide it off, and we can totally get rid of this one because this side comes with its own little built-in hanger. But really, if you look on the pipe, it's hard to see on this one because it has the clamp there. But if you look on this one, there's a slight bulge in the pipe right there where they slide the two together before they weld them for the factory setup. We're going to cut them right behind that bulge right there, and then that will give us the spot to slide our new section over it. So both of them get cut right there. I'm going to slide over till right around there. But overall, a pretty straightforward setup. So we're going to go ahead and cut these. We'll probably be using a Sawzall for this one. Usually works out a little better. Just make sure you have a good metal blade on there, or you can use a cutoff wheel or whatever you prefer. Hacksaw if you really want to spend the time. But so we're going to go ahead and get these cut off and get these slid over and start getting this baby put back together. All right, here we are. Got the new pipe set on there. Got the old cats laying right over there. So we did get all those cut off and everything. These do fit real tight over the pipe, which is nice. Got a good setup. Wiggle this one off, show you. Got that cut. Make sure all that's all deburred and everything, so you don't have any nasty things hanging off, keeping you from wanting to slide that on or cutting you up when you're working on it. And then the other clamp on that side is removed because it has its own hanger on that one. So now we are going to slide both these off. They do recommend you put some form of liquid sealant on there before clamping them down, just to ensure that it has a good seal, no little exhaust leaks. So we'll use some ultra copper on this one. That's one of the few liquid sealants that will actually live in exhaust conditions. So we'll put a little bit of that on there, slide these back over, get this exhaust set back up in the car, and we'll wait to clamp these down until we have everything bolted on. All right, and we are to the finished product. These actually fit really well on there. We did do new gaskets while we had it apart. Got our O2 sensors all threaded back in. Make sure once you're actually setting the exhaust back up here, these clamps are the last ones you tighten down. You do everything else on the exhaust and then you tighten these down. Otherwise it'll mess up how it all has to sit in the car properly. So do that. You can see we got a little bit of the ultra copper on there. You don't have to go ham when you put that on there. Just before you slide your pipe on, put a real small amount just around the very front of it. And then when you slide the pipe over, that will take up any excess tolerances in there. And just help that seal up properly and get no exhaust leaks. But it's all mounted up nice. Fairly straightforward and simple. It is helpful if you have someone to help you take it down and put it back up in the car. I did it by myself, but it's not real hard to do. Just don't drop it on you. But did that and got our shield back on. And then just remember that this is a off-road use only setup. So anytime you're deleting the cats, obviously emissions wise, that is illegal. So if you're doing it and trying to stay emissions compliant, you might go with a similar setup like this, but as a high flow cat. Or if you're planning on only doing the track use setup with it, or just plan on risking it, you can go this way. You will want to have it tuned afterwards to get the full benefit of going catless. Also, you will throw catalyst efficiency codes for the rearward O2 sensors not seeing cat there anymore. So you'll have that. But overall, if you plan on doing this, you'll probably take about 2 hours or so. It helps if the car's cooled down. Spray down all your bolts, everything you've done on it. Always go through, double check everything you've touched, because it sucks worrying about if you tighten something down or not. Think about that in the middle of the night and crawling back under your car. So go through everything twice. Always be safe. Thanks for watching. If there's anything on here that we didn't cover that you have a question on, go ahead and put that in the comments. We'd love to get back to you. And all right, thank you.